Welcome back to Where Clarets Walk. Liam says we had the best home atmosphere in Yonks, but that goal music has got to be binned. We're talking about the least sensible, woke nonsense stuff going on at Burnley to rouse the atmosphere. How bad is it? And more importantly, Benson is back. And does that mean that Burnley season is now going to kick on in the right places? Thank you very much for joining us. We're also going to talk about the March fixtures. How many points out of 15 will the Clarets pick up? And which team's fan base would we like to see the back of from the 9 possible teams that could get relegated? Stay tuned to the end of the video while we get our team to discuss that. Now, having deserted Jordan last week, Connor and Dan are back from their holidays. How are we, fellas? Good?
Yeah, right. Not too bad.
All good, cheers.
And I tell you what, the riff-raff they let on the pitch at Turf Moor these days, what's going on?
That will be cheer! 3, 2, 1, go! That looks like a decent quick backwards, Daniel. It's just slowing down in all the right places, but maybe not quite spot on.
Bravo. Yes.
Thank you.
How was it for you?
Oh, it was great fun. I got phoned on Thursday to say, do you want to do it? I was like, oh, crikey. Yeah, sure, fine. And it was the kind of a boyhood half-time, full Turf Moor, albeit everyone's underneath having a drink. But I went out and I wanted to be the least rubbish. And I ended up winning. I didn't win the 1,500 quid, but I was the closest. So I won 2 tickets. So happy days. It was good fun.
Good. Bump into any players, Scotty P, in the tunnel or anything like that?
Beg your pardon, sorry?
Did you bump into any players in the tunnel?
No, they're all firing balls into the net at half time. So Shelby nearly knocked my head off. But aside from that, we were just milling around the Jimmy Mack end. So we were just off there. And like I said, we just saw them warming up and what have you. I mean, after he saw that passing, Scotty P did have a word and say, we need that maestro in midfield. I said, look, I'm really sorry, but the armies are crying. I just can't get on, so.
Okay. Right. Well, good to have you two back. Anyway, Jordan held the fort down really well last week. Thank you for all your comments.
Thank you.
Comments there. Let's crack on then, shall we? Benson's back, Connor. Does this mean now second place is yours?
Yes. Absolutely. I love Benson to bits. And I do think, controversial opinion, when he's fully fit, he has potential to be the best winger in the league.
Some statement, but I love his goals. I just love, all his goals are identical. He's the only player I've ever seen where he just curls sweet spots, doesn't he? Some of the tweets following the game were incredible. This is from a Leeds fan, Chris, who's a Leeds fan, says, Edwards is quality. Benson is back to fitness. Burnley are going to be a problem now. You having that, Jordan?
Oh, of course I am. I did say this a while ago about the movement in the transfer market we didn't really need to do because the amount of people that were coming back from injury. It did bring a little tear to my eye because we all knew what he was doing when he lined up, but I thought, wow, what's he doing? He's on the wrong side, and then he comes out with that rocket. It were a special moment for Burnley fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick mention of Edwards in there as well, Dan. How good was he? We know the Sheffield Wednesday game is old now, but how impressed were you?
Oh, it is just that class. You got to wonder if he was told he was going to Benfica and he ended up in Burnley, because he's just his touch. I don't know if you saw it in the first half. He took a ball down on his back heel and flicked it past a player. He's finished for his goal. He beats 2. A bit lucky with a bounce, but still, he just looks. He's only had, that's his first full game, I think. He's had a couple of sub appearances. You've got to think once he hits his stride, crack, he's going to be some player.
Yes, Reynolds says, Benny, what a rocket. So good to see him back. So pleased for him. And Edwards, take a bow. A diamond in a dire first half. And Jordan, just on that first half, I know the game's gone now, so I don't want to go on too much about it, but why were Wednesday by far the better team? What wasn't clicking for you, do you think?
Personally, when watching it, I thought they took it too easy. I think they turned up to the turf almost like it were a guaranteed walkover game. That's how it felt. Passes were going astray. People looked lethargic. Could you say in contention of a little bit lazy in some parts? I do think the fact that we kept letting Sheffield go forward. Like we haven't seen that all season, but the fact that we're able to progress to them positions kind of shows that from the front leading backwards, apart from the back line, we're pretty switched off for the first half.
Okay. I just want to call out some other players as well. So from one Connor Roberts to another, if that's okay, Connor. Some performance from Connor Roberts last night. Clarets says, one of our most underrated players. He's club captain material. So, Connor, 2 questions in one there. Is he and should he be?
I mean, he puts in 110% effort every time he plays. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt in that. Is he club captain material? I don't know. I don't know, really. I do think CJ Egan-Riley's a better shout for a captain. But, yeah, is he captain material? I don't know, but he's a fantastic player for us. Always gives 100%, but I don't think he's quite captain material, mate.
Okay. Brownhill, Dan, we'll go to you for this one. Katie J says, I think deep down that Brownhill is the glue to our team. Anyone that he joins, he adores and makes them feel welcome. Teams relapse completely the past 4 years, but always seem best mates. I love this team and will the next one if he stays. Do you get that sense from him that actually he's doing a lot outside of the dressing room? And what are you laughing at?
You've done the dirty on me here. You've heard me talk about Brownhill in the past.
We know what's coming.
You know, his biggest fan. However, I will say...
That's why I'm coming to you, but Jordan put me off guard.
He must have something. He seems to be very well liked within the club. We only get to see what you see on social media, what they allow us to see, but also what you see on the pitch. As soon as he come on the other day, Cullen raced over to him, threw the armband on him. He seems to be well liked. When he scored his goal, they all went over and celebrated with him. And he took his goal very, very well. So he's obviously got a bit of something as well as what he brings on the pitch, which, you know, I've been a big critic of his. So he must have a bit of something else that brings them together. Whether it's the glue that brings the team together or not, I'm not sure. We've coped quite admirably in his absence. That being said, he comes on and we score 3. So maybe he brings that attacking impetus. I couldn't say, but you know, he had a good game on Friday, and you've got to give credit where credit's due.
Okay. All right, we'll leave that game there. But we've done this for 30 weeks now, episode 30. So if you could drop 30 likes, that would be absolutely amazing. FA Cup to come. We'll talk about Preston again in a minute, and then we'll talk about Cardiff as well. Before we get there, though, the atmosphere at Turf Moor, some tweets were saying it was the best it's been in a long time. I mean, I think the Steve chant helps with that, which I think is just incredible. And there's only one. The Mike Trezor chant on TV, I don't know what it was like in the stadium, but on TV on Friday, I could only hear that Mike Trezor chant for the last 20 minutes solid, almost, it felt like. So poor old Mike's having to listen to that, knowing that 20-odd thousand fans don't care about him. However, there were these thoughts.
Don't care about me.
All I care about is John.
That's right. Adam says, can we bin off the light show pre-match and just play Wild Rover instead, please? And bin off the entire pre-match playlist too. It's absolutely shocking, apart from times like these. Who have we hired to enhance the fan experience because they need sacking? Jordan, how is Turf Moor atmosphere been? And try and compare it to what the tweets there say. They got a point?
Well, yeah, he has in some aspects. I completely agree with the goal music. I think it's stupid, personally. It feels very, in the greatest respect, very American, very over-dramatised. I think that the crowd's enough. Saying that, I have seen the pre light shows and things like that evolve over the years. I remember when they were next to nothing. I agree with the playlist. Bin that off. We just need Times Like These and Heroes by David Bowie, and I'm set to go. But yeah, no, I do massively. I like the light show within reason. They do it like a bit too much, but I think on when it's a nice dark night and you've got them lights going, it gives you a bit more of a pump. I'm sure it does more to the players, because it would if it were me. I'd see them lights going and think, right, I'm up for this now. So yeah, no, it does have some fair points. The goal music, the silly playlist. But yeah, no, I'd keep the lights. I think it's a nice little touch within reason.
My favourite tweet from any club this week is this one This is from Ash, who says, "Me, what's with the new goal music? We haven't had this all season, have we?" The bloke next to me goes, "To be fair, we wouldn't know." Brilliant, Ash. Love that. Dan, I mean, I know we're having a little bit of a joke with it, but does there need? Do we care about the fan experience? Should we care about it? Does more need to be done to bring more fans back to Turf Moor, or do we? Is this just woke nonsense?
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, the fan experience, etc. I mean, if you're a football fan, you're not really going to draw them in with you can go see a light show and listen to some 80s music. So I think we may be focusing too much on it. I know there's been saying let's get it a drum, what have you. The atmosphere can fall flat. In that first half, it did. And how many times do we hear the chant football in a library? Excuse me. The goal music for me is pointless. We had it before. We used to play Tom Hark, if you remember that. Da, 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 da. And then everyone said it's embarrassing, get rid of it. So we did, and now we brought it back, albeit a different tune. I don't know what it is. For me, bin that off. The light show, yeah, it's all right before kick-off. Don't bother at half-time. I don't really know what they're trying to do. You're not going to attract people in by playing music and putting lights on for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. You need better performances on the pitch. That's what's going to attract people in. Bums on seats, winning games. 0-0's not going to cut it. So if you improve the pitch, then you can all the other bits and pieces maybe add to it, yeah, whatever. But it's not going to add to the atmosphere.
Okay, Connor, tell your dad here or your pseudo dad here that he's wrong, that you actually do need this.
Oh, come on, son, I'm all ears.
I love the goal music. It's so much fun. I think it's a bit cheesy. No, bring back Tom Hark. Justice for Tom Hark, because I think I was the only Burnley fan who actually liked that.
Honestly, I hated it.
It was so good. Just the cheesy. It was well good. Bring that back. I'm going to make a petition actually. Bring that back. Okay.
Right. Let us know in the comments. I mean, yeah, we talk about everything on this show, from the ridiculous to the mundane. Right. We are getting in then to March. And before we head into the fixtures, let's talk about Preston, shall we? Now, last week, Jordan, we were talking about the fallout from the previous game. This game, obviously, is FA Cup. Do you think there's a different slant on this from a Burnley point of view, given that, if they knock you out, so what? It's all about that second place now. Do you think that mentally is in the back of some of the players' minds here?
Maybe sure in the players' minds, but one thing I do know, me and Dan have been pretty critical on cups and gone, we're not bothered, give us something that brings in money. I am so up for this game. Just for justice for Hannibal personally. Again, that's neither here or there. It's all alleged. Nothing's come out yet. But I mean, we want to know, we want to let him know how much we are behind him. I'm so up for this game against Preston. I really want to turn up and turn him over. A 1-0 don't cut it for me. I really want to embarrass him. Some of the things that have been said, some of the videos that have been made, the crude jokes, foul behaviour. I want to beat that almost with. Do you want to say like kill him with kindness? I want to beat him on that level. I want to completely embarrass him. So there's no memes, tweets, any more racial abuse that can be thrown. I really want to turn him over. And I've never said that about a cup game. I really want to turn up for this.
Mm-hmm. Dan, do you think it would be best if both those players were left on the respective benches for this one?
I think it'd be best if we get Jordan in the dressing room pre-game with that speech.
Yeah.
But no, I don't mean to mock on what has been a very sensitive subject, which Jordan, you both dealt with admirably last week. I don't see there is any benefit in putting Hannibal into a situation which is going to cause him either to get himself too emotional and sent off, or he's going to detract away from the football. The counter argument to that is, why should he shy away from a game just because some guy has said something that's upset him? And potentially, we don't know what's been said. We've heard bits and pieces. Only two people in this world know what's been said. Hannibal's reaction suggests it was a bad thing. So there's argument to say, why drag him out of the team and make him, punish him almost for the actions of somebody else? He should go out there, he should play. That being said, on an emotional or mental health, whatever you want to call it, level, it makes sense for him to say, look, you have a week off. We'll carry on with our strategy of playing our periphery players like we have done in the Cup. And it takes that edge away from it, and the fans can be that edge. Like Jordan's just said, we can go in, we can give him grief. If the other guy's playing, he'll get what's coming to him. But yeah, I think, I know it sounds daft. I'd say, Hannibal, have your week off, you've earned it.
Okay. There is the other side then, you're dead right then, that should Hannibal step onto the pitch, then Preston fans, and we've already asked them this, will be backing Osmajic and will be booing the hell out of Hannibal, Connor. Whether that's right or wrong, that's not for our debate, but they are going to obviously back their own player. On that basis, is it therefore sensible that he stays on the bench, not to even raise the crowd?
Yeah, I think it's just best for all parties, really. I think Hannibal really thrives off opposition fans giving him bits, but I think everything that's gone on in the situation, it is just a smart thing to go, yeah, just leave it, move on.
Can I also just say as well, just what you said about the Preston fans now, don't get me wrong, all alleged, we don't actually know the truth yet, but I know as personally myself, if I didn't know the truth, I just wouldn't say anything. Do you know what I mean? Just because I could be caught out as being a bit silly and say, oh, we're going to boo Hannibal and we're going to cheer us, mates. Well, really, then, the small minority of people that do have that mindset, you are just playing into their hands. And
you've seen it. You saw it with J-Rod when he was playing for West Brom, and he said something to a player, and he apparently said his breath smells. He complained, saying that he called him a racial slur. And he's been booed forever because of that. By that, I forget the two other. I think it was Crystal Palace. I could be wrong. Whoever it was,
Brighton.
And he was lambasted for something which he claims he never said. And it's the same here. You know, people will just draw the line, regardless of the truth. Will take the side, and like you say, forever now for Preston, he'll get booed.
Yeah. Let's hope football wins out in this particular game anyway, and it's a good game regardless. Right, let's press on then into March. Let's have a look at what's ahead after Preston. Then obviously the rearranged game this weekend it would have been is away to Cardiff. So that coming on Tuesday night. So we'll talk to you about that next week. Then we've got a nice little run here of home games. We've got Luton coming, who are god-awful, West Brom, who are dodgy at the moment, and Bristol City, who are terrible away. So, with Swansea away in the middle of it, this doesn't look like a bad month, Connor, does it?
No, I think it'll be a relatively successful month. I can only see us dropping points, realistically. West Brom, I could see that being a draw, and I can see Bristol City being a draw. Scott Twine will just thunderbolt one into the top corner from a free kick. But I think rest of them we should just wipe the floor with, really. But Scotty P.
Yeah.
Jordan? What I'm going to say is it looks... Let's take last night's game. Friday's game, sorry, my head's not weak tonight. Friday's game, for example, we should turn up and turn every single team over there. Now, the likes of Luton, and this I really want to point out, what is Burnley's biggest thing? We just take teams too lightly. Now, the Luton game I will be keeping one eye on, because when they do, I know they haven't shown it very often this time round, but when they do turn up, they turn up. So will it be one of them, get one goal and put 11 men behind the ball? The lads need to be turning up for that game the same that they turned up to Bramall Lane. And I think we need to work that with every single last fixture, because now it's so on a knife's edge. There's 2 points in it. Quite frankly, I'm not bothered about the title now. It just seems out of reach, and Leeds are pretty unstoppable. But the promotion place of second, that has to be a constant 3 points. You can't be having any of these boring 0-0s. Whether it's boring or not, we need to get over the line with the 3 points, because now we're chasing the coattail of Sheffield. And from what we've seen off previous weeks, even when they play bad, Sheffield, they somehow scrag a win. So you've got to constantly be on that edge. So coming to every game like it's a cup final now, I think we have to.
Okay. We're recording this before Leeds meet Sheffield United. Dan, what result would you like as a Burnley fan from that game?
Leeds win. It's unpopular, but I think Leeds win has to be. I think Jordan's right. Leeds have gone. Let them go. They can go and win the league. I've said every time you've asked me the last few weeks, I said Leeds will win it. We'll go up second. If Leeds beat Sheffield United on Monday, I know we're 12 games out, but it's then in our hands. If we win every game, we go up. There's nobody can stop us, because we've got to play Sheffield United. So for me, I know can they both lose, but it's got to be for me a Leeds win.
Okay, right. Cheers for that, all of you. One final question remains this week then. Last week we asked you about the promotion race. This week we're asking you about the relegation race. And we're asking you as a Burnley fan, and please help us in the comments with this, which fan base do you want to see the back of more than any other from the bottom 9 clubs? 3 of these 9 will go down, that's for certain. But which fan base, for whatever reason, which club would you love as a Burnley fan to see in League One from the height of the Premier League where you may be next season? Connor, who for you gets your goat?
Luton, I just cannot stand them. All the stuff with Trafford when we played them at Turf in the Premier League, to them booing in first game of the season, they're just so petty. I mean, give it a rest, lads. See you later down there, League One.
Jordan?
I've got 3, so I'll run through them right quick. And it's not likability, it's just more the fact that that's just who I want to go down. Stoke City, I will not forgive him for that Sam Vokes comment. Not a chance. He was like a god to us. I'm not forgiving it, so they can go. Cardiff can do one, only because they think they're too good for English football, because now they want a Welsh league. I was going to put Swansea in that same bracket, but they give us Connor Roberts, so I'll give them a little pass. And the next one is Derby, just because it's going to sound really bad of me and petty. I just think it's funny. They're just such a big club, and if they were to go down, to me that is just funny. It just shows that football isn't money isn't everything in the Championship.
Okay, Dan.
I think Luton, just because I'm sick of people saying, "Oh, parachute payment clubs, what have you." I've nothing against Luton. I've no strong feelings against any of those 9, to be perfectly honest. I just think Luton would just kind of cut against that argument, and also just to see if the world implodes. If Derby go down, that would unite Burnley and Rovers fans. So it would be hilarious for all parties that he's left them to go to them to get relegated. So I just want to see what happens to the universe should Derby go down.
Okay. Right. All right. Let us know in the comments which ones you'd like to go down. Right, you lot, good luck against Preston. We'll be hopefully seeing you in the quarterfinals, of course. And we'll see you guys back here next week for episode 31. We're nearly there. Nearly there. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the comments. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Have a good one.
Oh, Scotty P. Is that way, isn't it?
Yeah,
Scotty P.
Yeah, that'd be Scotty D, wouldn't it? Which is a
Yeah.
whole different person. See you later.